Are we broadcasting? I didn't hear the bell. I hope this is working. Okay, I think we're live, so hopefully this will work. This hour on Verbling, the next in my Business Basics series. This is the class where you work on your key communication skills for different areas of business, or different areas of your professional life. Simple things like socializing, complex things like doing a presentation. So in this class, we're going to work on the last part in our unit on promotions, how to get a promotion, what you need to do, what you need to say, that kind of thing. Okay, I'll share the material with you and we'll get started in just a moment. But first, quick introduction. I'm John Eric, your Verbling teacher for this hour. I'm an American teacher from New York, coming at you today from Lisbon, Portugal, to bring you this class. By the way, oops, let's see if you can see this on screen. Okay, there you go. By the way, if you click on the link in the Verbling chat window, or you click on my name anywhere in the Verbling website, it'll take you here to my profile page. On the left side, if you click follow, you should receive notifications of my upcoming group classes. And on the right, you can book a private tutoring session or buy a package with me, and I will help you by creating a personalized learning plan to help get you to your goals as soon as possible. If you're interested, please don't book a class. Just send me a message so that I can make sure there's enough time for you in my schedule. Okay, that's a bit about me. Let me give you the material, and then we will get started, okay? So you'll see a link there in the Verbling chat window, and another link here. If you don't see it, you can see it now in the group chat, okay? So while we're waiting for people to come in, let me just say hello to first Anna. Hello, Anna S. How are you?
Hello, John Eric. Thanks.
Solodilova.
Great, and you?
Solodilova.
you just relentless. You keep trying.
Sala. Maybe it's because the O is usually an A, so it's probably
well,
Sala.
If you're really that's interesting in pronouncing my second name. Well, the stress is on the let me see. On the D.
On the D. Solodilova.
Yeah, that's right. You're perfect. Thanks.
Because the first O is always an A in Russian. So instead of
that's
so,
right.
it's sa. Okay.
Yeah.
Anna Saladilova.
Yeah, you're just like a native speaker.
Spasibo.
Of Russian. Oh God, that's really nice of you. Thank you.
How do I say thank you very much? Is it spasibo? Очень спасибо? Spasibo? How do I say thank you very much?
Oh, John Eric, you're you're embarrassing me.
Why?
I don't want to speak in Russian, please.
Why?
Well,
Why not?
I hate it.
Why?
Because I think it's ugly, and my second name is ugly too. It's ridiculously long and unpronounceable, and I like more the sound of American English and American names. And
Okay. So we'll have to change your name. So pick a new last name, Anna.
Well, actually, I've tried, but I can't. It's too messy to do it on this Google thing, and I actually wanted to cut it short.
Okay. How about Anna Smith?
Well, sounds better, definitely, but not really original, and I think it'll make English speakers confused. They'll expect a native English speaker, and here will be I.
Okay. Well, think about it. Okay, and we'll see what we can come up with. And we also have Mr. Giancarlo that we're going to call Johnny C.
Yes, John. Good morning. How are you?
Let's Americanize your name, Johnny C.
Johnny C. Yeah.
So here's the deal. Today it looks like a very quiet day. I'm not sure where everybody is, but in Monday's class what we did is we took this article that we read last week, we turned it into an activity, and I want to jump forward and show you what we did and move forward from there. So here was the article moving up, and Margaret Davis talked about 18 different tips you could use to get a promotion, things you should keep in mind. And over here, in the second part, I wanted you to actually hear native speakers try to get a promotion. So on Monday, we looked at a list of possible reasons that reasons and benefits someone might use to try to get something from their boss. In this case, it was not exactly a promotion. It was a sabbatical. Let's see. Anna, I don't think you were here on Monday. I don't think so. Am I wrong? No.
You're right. You're right.
Okay.
What's the? You said the word
sabbatical.
What's that?
What about you, Giancarlo? I can't remember. You were here on Monday, right? I think you were.
Yes, right. I was
Okay.
here, and I remember something about the concept. And you mentioned, and we mentioned that sabbatical is most of the time when a teacher have some vacations in order to make a research or to do a research.
That's right. So sabbatical is usually for university teachers to basically write a book or to do some important research. In this context, we heard a person in a company, in an IT company, who was asking for a sabbatical because she was trying to make the case that this was like doing research. However, she was not very convincing. She made the case, but it was not super convincing, although the boss did listen. So I think what we ought to do here is take a look at what she actually said, because Anna, you weren't here, so we're going to take a look at it. We're going to look at some of the phrases she used, and then you're going to try to use them yourself to get a promotion. And we can go back and look at some of those 18 tips for you to keep in mind when you're asking for a promotion. Okay? So, I have the transcript here. It's not the best quality. Let's read through it once, so it'll refresh your memory, Giancarlo. And Anna Smith, you'll get some exposure for the first time. I'm sorry, was it Anna Smith? I can't remember your name.
Cool, I like that.
All right. So Anna, I want you to be Lena in this dialogue, okay? And Giancarlo, you're going to be the manager. Let's read through it one time, and then we're going to focus on the key phrases that she uses to convince her boss. Okay? Sound okay?
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
Take it away, Giancarlo.
So what you're saying is you want to take an extended holiday.
No, not really. I'd see it as a sabbatical. A journalist friend has invited me to be her photographer on her next assignment. A team is heading out to the Antarctic to document the impact of global warming.
And utilize several months off to accompany her?
Yes, it's been a long-term goal of mine to do something like this. I did photography before I moved into...
Photography.
Oh, thanks, photography. Before I moved into IT, but I never saw it as a career. The thing is, I've been inspired by the people I studied with who become professional photographers. Photographers, right?
That's right. Photographers.
Photographers.
Okay, so you take nice months off and we are left without a technical author and no team leader.
Wait, say that again. Instead of we are, it's we're.
We're, okay. You take 9 months off and we are left without a technical author and no team leader.
I know, but it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
But how do we benefit from this?
Well, I think it's a win-win situation. I'd enjoy developing my creative side. I'd fulfill a long life ambition, so
Not long life, but lifelong.
Thanks. Lifelong.
Good.
I'd fulfill a lifelong ambition, so I'd come back to my job feeling more confident and satisfied with what I'd achieved in life.
Okay, good. But you're not reading the words on the screen. Anna, I don't see the word confident. What's there?
Oh, it's contented.
Contented.
It's
Right.
just a bit smudged on my
Yes.
screen, sorry. Contented.
Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, and you know what? It might be hard to see the bottom. The bottom, forget about the bottom. It's actually on the next side. So the manager's last line
Uh-huh.
is repeated on the top right. Okay. So the
Okay.
manager says,
The manager says yes, and
And the experience I'd gain would be invaluable for managing the team.
uh, this isn't common practice as far as I know. I'm not sure if
I understand your misgivings. What if I don't come back and so on? But the plus point are that I'd be working in extreme conditions with a team of strangers and my leadership skills would be put to the test.
I'm not convinced. Go on.
But there are also other benefits for you. I tend to put on an exhibition of my work after the trip, and I'd like to do it with the support of the company. It would mean we'd get a lot of media exposure as well as great advertising opportunities.
Yeah, yes, that sounds interesting. It's certainly worth thinking about.
I really feel that this is a chance I can't afford to miss.
Well, this would set a precedent. I'll have to discuss it with HR, Human Resources. It's not
HR,
going
just HR.
HR. With HR, it's not going to be easy to persuade them. I'm afraid your arguments aren't very convincing from a business point of view.
That's hardly fair. I've never refused to take on more work or to do overtime when it's been necessary. I've been extremely loyal when lots of employees went to the new competition and well,
Okay, fair point. I'll see what I can do.
I'd really appreciate it if you could speak to HRA. I can see the text
HR and initiate a meeting for all of us.
and initiate a meeting for all of us.
Okay, I think I can manage that, Lena.
Okay, very good, very good. So, why, this one's for you, Giancarlo. Why do you think the manager says her arguments are not convincing from a business point of view?
Uh, because Lena wants to leave the company for maybe some weeks, and maybe the
Weeks? Wait, 9 months? I think it's
months,
9 months, isn't it?
for several months, yes,
Several
for
months,
several,
yeah. Okay.
and the company, what this guy is trying to say, he's trying to persuade her and to convince her not to go because the company is not going to get something extra talking
Out
about
of it,
her out of it, something
right.
out of it, talking about her living. So we can clearly see that this is a conversation between two people who wants to have a winning or to have a something interesting to get. For example, the company wants to get something relevant from Lena, and Lena wants to get experience, but the
Mhm.
company is not sure about her leaving because the company is not going to get anything
Anything out of it.
from anything out of it. Yes,
Yeah, the expression is to get something out of it. To get some, STH is something out of it. Okay? You can see it in the chat right here. To get something out of it.
To get
That's another
something
way
out of it.
to say to get a benefit. To
To
get
get a
something out of it
benefit.
is to get a benefit.
Yes, to get a benefit.
Okay.
Yes.
Anna, what is Lena's way of persuading her manager? What is the argument that she's making?
She's trying to point out the pros for her manager
What
to
are the pros?
that the company will benefit from her new experience with photography.
Well, how will
And
they benefit them? You're
well,
right, but
I'm
how?
well, I'm sorry. What exactly the company is doing?
Oh, the company is an IT company.
It's like what's exactly IT?
Well, let me go back here. The context, I forgot to read that again. Yes, on the top right side, Lena Johnson, that's your character, currently works for an IT company leading a team of technical writers. So, that means that she's writing about computer-related issues, security, programming, protocol, apps. We don't know exactly what she's doing, but anyway, she's a writer about computer-related issues. She has a diploma in photography, but has decided to request a 9-month sabbatical to act as a photographer. So she's doing something that's not really related to her job. Her job is to be the lead writer for this publication, and the company is an IT company. So let's put this into perspective. Maybe the company is something like HP, for example. Okay, HP is not really an IT company, but it has IT as part of it. It's a hardware company. And so maybe she's writing for, it's not really for the press, but maybe she's writing things that the company publishes that are in the trade, for the trade publications that other people in the area will read. That does happen. For example, a company can publish a white paper, which is a white paper is how you do a certain protocol or how you follow a certain set of procedures, the right way to do it and the wrong way to do it. Or there could be a trade paper read only by other IT companies that are sponsored by this company, and she's the writer for those. Okay, so it's not really clear, but we do get the idea that photography has got nothing directly to do with IT, and she works for an IT company. Okay, so she's trying to persuade them by saying the company will benefit from her experience. What 2 ways will the company benefit from her experience? What's she going to bring to the company? Anna, what do you think? You'll give me at least one of those. What do you think?
Well, she's saying that she'll be working with new people, right?
Specifically in a team.
Yeah, so probably her skills as a team player or exactly in particular leadership skills will improve, and she'll be a better part
leader
of company. Yeah, a better leader.
Yeah, that's basically what she's saying. Basically, that's it. So that's one of the reasons. There's another reason too, and this is for either of you. What's the second reason? This one is a little bit less obvious because I'm not sure how it's supposed to benefit the company exactly, although I do think it's a good idea. But what's the second, less obvious benefit to the company? Yeah,
well,
go ahead.
I'm not sure if it is the second benefit, but we are talking about a company that is related to journalism. And of course, in these kind of areas, one of the most important aspects is information. And of course, if Lena goes there to get some pics and information, it means that the company is going to spread the information to the society. And of course, we are talking about research.
Well,
Research.
well, let me just draw your attention to look at the right column, the right side.
Yes.
Look at Lena's second paragraph.
Oh, I think I know.
What is it, Anna?
She wants to do her own exhibition through, well, with the company help, and she hope that it'll attract
Mhm.
attract new
Exposure. That's the word she uses. Exposure.
exposure.
Right.
Yeah.
So the pictures she brings back will bring publicity or exposure to her company. That's what she's trying to say. Actually, it's a good idea if you really think about it. It's quite a good idea. But she doesn't present a very good argument for it. I think that's her problem. Because if you see, like, BP or any of these big companies, they're always sponsoring art exhibitions and different exhibitions. And they'll quite often, I'm thinking about BP in particular, to combat a negative what's the word, image in the press, they'll often sponsor clean energy advertisements, movies, things that can be shown in the media. So it's not a bad tactic. I think she just doesn't persuade him very well. That's my idea, anyway. Okay, so I said it's less obvious only because she doesn't really state the benefit in a clear way. I think if she did, the manager would be much more convinced. But she does get a follow-up meeting, so she's partly successful. I want to focus on the language in particular. So, oops, let's go back here. We did this briefly, but I don't want to redo it, I just want to review it. Okay? You've got 9 statements that were said that you just read through. Okay? And it says to underline the phrase that means the same. So based on what you read, I want you to match the sentence you read with the sentence you see on screen. So Giancarlo, this one should be familiar. Anna, it's not so familiar, but these are going to be things that you've just read. For example, it's something I've wanted to do for a long time, right? That's her first comment. It's something I want to do for a long time. In the article, she says, it's been a long-term goal of mine to do photography, a long-term goal. So what we're really doing is we're picking out the key phrases by looking at equivalence here. Okay? Any questions about what to do?
No.
Okay. Giancarlo, number 2. Tell me the equivalent, if you can.
The people I studied with have given me the desire to do this.
And the key phrase is given me the desire. What does she say in place of that?
Inspired her?
That's right. I've been inspired by those people. Okay, so number 2 is inspired by, and I'll put this in the chat window for you as well. Inspired by. Okay, so let's just, if you know the answer, just shout it out. Anna, could you read number 3?
I'll never get this opportunity again in my life. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Once in a lifetime. And once in a lifetime is written with hyphens like this. Once in a lifetime. So that makes it one word. Can you see that in the chat window? Once hyphen in hyphen a lifetime hyphen. See it?
Sure I can. Thanks.
Okay. Okay, there you go. Mr. JC, number 4.
Number 4 is, it's a situation where we'll both gain something.
I know. Sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, come on, Giancarlo. Give it a try.
I'll try, but Okay, well, she mentioned something about we also get a benefit. We will both get a benefit.
Hmm. But she's much more
Uh,
specific. What
uh,
kind of situation?
a
A blank.
win-win situation.
A win-win situation is correct. Number 4, a win-win situation. Anna, number 5, please.
I'd obtain skills that would be very useful for managing the team.
Hmm. That's too long. So what does she say in a shorter way?
It'll benefit. No?
Mm, she uses a particular adjective which is very useful when you're making a personal case. She says the experience would be what?
Rewarding. No.
No? Giancarlo, do you get it? The
Mhm.
experience would be
Would be
Beneficial.
no. By the way, you can always go back to the previous slide if you want to skim through it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you've got the link in the chat window at the very top. So you can open this in another window and go back to slide 13 if you want to skim through the text. Okay? Should I tell you the answer then, if no one knows it? The experience I gain would be invaluable. Invaluable.
Invaluable.
invaluable.
Right. So that's going to be your next keyword that you're going to use to convince your boss to get a promotion. Okay, Giancarlo, could you read 6, please?
Number 6. Yes, number 6. I know you'll have a lot of worries. Well, she mentioned something about misgivings, but I'm
Very
not
good.
sure.
That's
Yeah.
it. I understand your misgivings. That's it.
I understand your misgivings. It's the first time I read this word, misgivings.
It's the second time because you read it on Monday.
Come on, John.
You're
Well-
counting.
Okay, it's the second time, John. Yeah, you're right.
It's the first time.
No, but I wasn't here on Monday. I remember, and I
Huh?
wasn't here. But yeah, no, I wasn't here. But it's okay.
I think you were. You weren't here on Monday?
No, I wasn't.
I
No.
remember you being in the class.
No,
Okay. So
yeah,
it's the first time for both of you. Okay, fine. No problem. Okay, so now you know misgivings, right? And remember, misgivings means to have doubts.
Doubt.
Yeah, right. Anna, what about we're on to 7, please.
If I don't take up this opportunity, I'll regret it. Well, I should see the text.
Mm-hmm.
Figure out.
What kind of a chance is it? It's a chance. It's a chance I
can't afford to miss.
It's a chance I can't afford to miss. That's the key phrase. Something I can't afford to miss.
Could you please say the word opportunity? I'm thinking it's sounds
Opportunity.
awkward. Like I'm
Opportunity.
pronouncing it. Opportunity.
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 Because the problem is,
It's still awkward. Opportunity. Oh,
right?
bad.
Because of the word, because of the syllable tune. Say,
Yeah, that's right.
say tune.
Tune.
Okay, sounds okay. Opportunity.
Opportunity.
Because I don't say the T. I say it as a D at the end.
Opportunity.
Yeah, opportunity.
Opportunity.
That's it. Sounds okay.
Thanks.
Okay. Where are we? Number 8, Mr. I forgot who read last. I'm sorry. Is it Giancarlo? I think it's you.
Mhm. That's not very reasonable. I've always taken on extra work. It is related to
This is when she's kind of protesting at the end of the dialogue.
yes, is where she says that's hardly fair. I've never refused to take on more work or to do overtime.
That's right. Hardly fair. Hardly fair.
Hardly fair.
Correct. Okay, and Anna, the last one?
I'd be very grateful if you could talk to HR. Well, I'd appreciate it, right?
Mhm. I'd really appreciate it if you could speak to HR. I'd really appreciate it. Say that for me. Appreciate.
Appreciate. Appreciate.
You're missing a syllable.
¿Verdad?
Appreciate.
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 That's it.
Appreciate.
Appreciate.
And if you add the it sounds like one word. Appreciate it. Appreciated.
Appreciated.
That's it.
Appreciate.
That's it. Okay, so all those answers which are now in the chat window are answers that you're going to use to get a promotion. By the way, you'll notice that at the bottom we've got 6 categories. There's 2 phrases for each category except for category C, which only has 1 answer. So you've got stating what you want, which phrases mean that you're stating what you want. B, explaining the benefits, which phrases are for explaining the benefits of your proposal. C, which single phrase is stating motivation. D, which 2 phrases are there to argue persuasively, or you could use them to help argue persuasively. Finally, E, which 2 phrases are there for dealing with objections? Okay? Letter A, stating what you want. Who wants it?
Well, it's once in a lifetime opportunity. I wanted to do it for a long time.
Wait a second, wait, that's too many. Wait a second. Stating what you want. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. This is what you're saying, right? So that's whether you're taking number 3, I'll never get this opportunity, which said in the dialogue it's a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't agree with you. I think there's a better answer for that.
Then I
intend
wanted.
Sorry.
Giancarlo, what were you going to say?
I intend to. It could be one of the statings.
What I'd like you to do, I'd like you to connect it to one of the numbers from 1 to 9. Because the numbers 1 to 9 show the meaning, and then the way it was stated is in the chat window. Okay, so for example, number 1, it's something I've wanted to do for a long time. That's what she wanted to say, right? But the way she said it was, it's been a long-term goal of mine to do it. So that is an example of stating what you want. Okay, there's one other that's stating what you want as well. If you say it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, that's not just stating, that's making an argument. So once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, number 3, matches better with D, arguing persuasively. Okay?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. What is a second one that you think exemplifies stating what you want?
Well, we mentioned that it was a win-win situation, or maybe we may talk about experience we could get, or I could get, about this permission. This.
Okay, I don't know what answer those are there.
Number 5.
Number 5 for me fits better somewhere else. The experience I would gain would be invaluable. That fits better in another, not for stating what you want. Which one does number 5 fit with?
B.
B, right.
I thought we were talking about the B. Sorry.
Right. Well, now we are. Explaining benefits. The experience I gain would be invaluable for me or for the company. Right, it's B. Okay, so we still need a second one for A, and we need a second one for B as well. Okay? What's the second one for B? What's another example of explaining benefits?
Mm,
Probably number 2.
Nope.
no, explain benefits. Maybe it's a win-win situation, no, John?
Correct. It's a win-win situation, right? Saying it says we'll both gain something. So that's a benefit. We'll both gain. It's a win-win, and
Situation.
the experience that I'll get will be invaluable for both of us. Those are both benefits. Okay, so B is done. It's number 4 and 5. A is number 1, and there's a second one we're missing. Let's move on, though. What about C? Which single expression is an example of stating your motivation for doing something? Explaining why you're motivated.
The experience again would be invaluable for.
But we used that already. That was for B.
Okay. So
Inspired.
Correct. Number 2. She's saying that she was inspired by the people she studied with. That explains why she wants to do it. It explains her motivation. Okay, so C matches with number 2. Okay, let's take a look at arguing persuasively. We did one of these already, right? We matched up D with, I forgot which one it was, with it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So we matched number 3 with D, but there's a second example of a persuasive argument besides number 3. Remember, it's not the actual argument, it's the way she expresses herself persuasively. What would you say is the second one, class? Going once?
inspired by,
No,
But
we
we-
use that. We use that for, yeah.
arguing persuasively. Well, I'd really appreciate if you could speak to HR, maybe.
Is that a persuasive argument? Okay. For me, the answer is number 7. This is a chance I can't afford to miss. She's trying to persuade her boss. This is a chance I can't afford to miss. Which is stated on the screen as if I don't take up this opportunity, I'll regret it. Okay, so she's trying to be persuasive in that case. The goal here is to use the categories to give you faster access, a better way to organize the phrases that you're learning, so that when it's your time to make a case, you can also say, look, this is an opportunity I can't afford to miss. I hope you understand that. Okay? So it's to help you recognize the situations where you're going to use these key phrases. Let's jump down to the last one, E, dealing with objections. There are 2 phrases that she uses to deal with objections.
It's not fair.
It's hard. That's hardly fair. Number 8. That's hardly fair. I've never refused to take up work. That's right. Number 8. And there's one other. It doesn't mean that she's objecting. She's not the one objecting. She's dealing with the manager's objections. Right?
I know you'll have a lot of worries.
Right. How does she express that? She doesn't say the word worries. She says, look in the chat. Misgivings, right. I understand your misgivings. So 6 and 8 match with E. Okay, we got all of them except for number 1. Number 1 was 1, and what's the missing one for number 1? What's the one that we haven't used yet? Just to review, so far we have 1 for A, 4 and 5 for B, 2 for C, 3 and 7 for D, 6 and 8 for E. That leaves us with only 1 that we haven't used.
Number 5.
We used it. Number 5 matches with B.
Oh, sorry.
Going once, going twice, the answer is number 9. We haven't used number 9. Take a look. To state what you want, you could say, I'd really appreciate it if you could speak to HR for me. That's what I want, right? I'd really appreciate if you could do that for me. And you could just as well say, what was the original one? Look, it's been a long-term goal of mine to do that. So I'm just making a statement. I'm not asking you for anything. I'm just telling you what I want. It's been a long-term goal of mine to get a promotion, to be a manager. So you could state it in your own way.
Yes, John, but stating what you want is, for example, she wants to have a sabbatical year or something, but in my personal opinion, stating what you want is the first idea she wants to. I mean, her desire to go there to the Antarctic.
Right, and she
Because,
says,
for example, I'd really appreciate it if you could speak. This is maybe a result of what she wants, no?
but here we're focusing on what key expressions she uses. It's the way she asks. So, in number one, it's been a long-term goal of mine to go to the Antarctic or whatever, right? The key that you have to remember is it's been a long-term goal of mine. That's the key expression that makes you sound like a native speaker. In number 9, I'd really appreciate it if you could. So here she's stating what she wants by asking a question. I don't know if that answers your question, but all I care about is the way you put it into an idiomatic sentence. That's all I'm looking for. Put it into an idiomatic sentence. So I want you to use number 9, Giancarlo, to state what you want. I'm your boss, okay? And you want me to do something, but I want you to say it in the way that number 9 is phrased. Look in the chat window at number 9. How would you finish that sentence?
Okay, I'd really appreciate it if you... Okay, I'd really appreciate it if you could speak to HR because I need an answer as soon as possible.
Great. That's it. So I'm only concerned with you saying, I'd really appreciate it if you could. That's the key phrase. And you can finish it in any way you like. Rather than saying, I want an answer, right? It's too direct. It could be misconstrued. It could sound too rude or something like that, right? So the idea is use these expressions and they'll sound good in that situation. You could also say, in another context for stating what you want, it's been a long-term goal of mine to become a manager. Could you put in a word for me with HR? Okay, so you could combine two of those if you like. Okay, any questions about the actual key phrases we've just learned and we've just categorized? Pretty clear?
Well, you just add something new, like put in a word,
Put
right?
a word in for me. Yep.
Put a word in for me.
Right. Same as I'd appreciate it if you could speak. Same thing. They mean the same. Okay, so let that sink into your brain for a minute. And let's take a look at, if you want to review, you'll notice on the last page, I put those key phrases for you in a table on slide 16. How to state what you want, how to state your motivations, how to explain benefits to your boss, how to argue persuasively to your boss, how to deal with your boss's objections. Okay, I want you to use these actively in the next activity. So go to 16 or keep that open in another tab so you can take a look at these as you do the activity. But let's go here. Anna, do you think you could read the directions on exercise 4? Anna! Uh-oh, we lost
Sorry.
Oh.
Work with a partner. Read this information. You left your college course halfway through for personal reasons. You have performed extremely well in your job, especially since most of your colleagues are better qualified than you. you would now like to go back to college and complete your studies, but the only way to do this is to take a career break for a year.
This is a very common thing that happens in your professional life. This has happened to me. This happens to everybody. How do you take a break when you're hired by the company? Because the moment you leave, they'll just hire someone else. So this is a great example of how to be persuasive. Okay? And this is really, really common. Even if it isn't a year off, could just be a week off. So I think this is extremely realistic. Good chance for you to try out this language. So, number one, decide what kind of job you have, what kind of course you want to complete. So think about your own experience now, Anna and Giancarlo, okay? Then, number two, discuss how you would present your case for a career break to your manager. Make sure you think of 2 phrases for stating what you want, stating your motivation, explaining the benefits, arguing persuasively. And all you need to do is go to slide 16, and you can just use those expressions. They're already there for you. Think of 2 objections your boss might have to counter these with appropriate phrases. Okay? And this is work with another pair. Don't worry about that. Just the first 3. Okay? Giancarlo, what type of job do you have in this role play?
Maybe I would like to take the employee.
Of what kind of job?
What kind? Maybe, well, as a receptionist, maybe, or
As a
maybe.
receptionist, good. Yes,
Yeah.
do something from your experience. Yep. So you're a receptionist, and what kind of course would you most likely need to take or want to take?
I like to take my certification in English.
Okay. Would you need to have a break from your work to do that?
Yes.
Like, oh, okay. Like, how long would you need to take the break for?
A year.
Wow, really?
Yeah, really.
Okay. Where are you going to study? Because most English
Where?
courses. So you mean you'd go away for a year to study in a school and then come back? Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Anna, what's your job in this scenario?
So I could be an employer asking for a
What kind of job though?
piano teacher.
A piano teacher for school?
Yeah,
Okay,
for
great.
a musical school.
Okay, piano teacher for a music school. What kind of course would you be likely to take that you need a break?
Well, I would like to take to earn a master degree in piano performance.
Master's in piano performance. Okay. Okay, well, they both sound very reasonable to me, so I can't see why anyone would turn you down. Okay, I want you to review the expressions on slide 16 as you do this. By the way, Giancarlo, just a quick question. What objections do you think your boss would have? What kinds of things would he say against you taking a break?
Maybe my boss is going to tell me that it is not possible to give me this kind of permissions
Because?
because there are not enough employees to work in my shift.
Ah, okay. So, it's not enough staff available. Okay, anything else that he might use against your idea? Not enough staff, and what else?
No staff, and of course they need me because I got a lot of experience dealing with customers. I mean guests in the hotel.
Okay. No experienced staff, or no as experienced staff. Okay, good. Okay, and the same question to you, Anna. Give me 2 reasons the music school might turn you down for your request.
Well, the first would be what will they do with my current students?
Ah, okay. Because you already have students assigned to you, right, and no one else.
Of course, the students I'm leading or Is
Teaching.
that right? Well, teaching. Okay,
Well,
teaching.
to make it simple, teaching. Okay. Give me one other reason besides that.
Well, it's pretty the same, but it would be uncomfortable for my students that I am teaching to be without me the whole year, or to have to change tutor.
Okay. So we're going to call that maybe interruptions are not good for the students.
Great.
Okay, something like that. Okay. Let's try this out as a role play. Okay. I'll tell you what, to make things fast, I'll be your boss for now. But I want you to focus on making your case, being persuasive. You must state what you want. You must state your motivation. You must explain the benefits, and you must argue persuasively using the key phrases on 16. And I'll put them on screen to make it even easier for you. I really want you to use these specific phrases and make them a part of your English. Personalize them. Okay? If you want to say something else, it's okay, but try to use these as actively as you can. Okay? So let's try this. I'll give you each 2 minutes. Imagine that you've made this request and I've called you into my office. Okay? Giancarlo, I understand that you have an unusual request to make. As you know, we're a very busy hotel, so I'm afraid I'm not entirely sure how I can help you, but go ahead, tell me what you want.
Okay, sir. I intend to return to Mexico City because there are some schools there where I could finish my certification in English. As you know, I like to finish my certification because it's something very relevant and necessary for my career.
But as you know, we're short-staffed.
Yes, I know that, but it's necessary for me, and I like to do this because I could give you a better service if you give me the opportunity to finish my certification. I'll return to.
Say that again using explaining benefits. Look at those phrases. State that again, right? Same idea, but try to use one of those phrases in explaining benefits.
I like to do this because my certification, my studies are quite necessary for me in order to give you a better service here in the hotel, in the property. And if you give me this opportunity, of course, to return to work in your hotel, I would be very satisfied because I consider that it is a win-win situation. Because imagine that I return here to your property having a better level of English. I could give you a better service in any kind of departments here in the hotel. So
Okay.
the plus points are that I am more ready and more ready, I would have more schooling in order to give you a better service.
Okay. Well, the answer is no, because I'm the boss and I do whatever I want.
Okay, sir, this is a chance I can afford to miss because, as I said before, it's quite important for me. So I'll never be satisfied unless I do it.
Hmm. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll have a word with HR and we'll see what we can do. But I really can't promise anything, okay?
Okay, thanks so much.
All right. Very good. Giancarlo, 2 points to keep in mind. Point
Yes.
1, you can't really be very satisfied. You know why? Because satisfied is already the maximum. So you either are satisfied or you're not. Because earlier you said, I'd be very satisfied if I could do it. Well, not very satisfied. I'd be satisfied. You can't be very satisfied.
It's like a pleonasm.
Could be, if I knew what that was. What do you
Okay.
mean? In other words, it's a word that already expresses 100% of something, right? So you can't add a modifier to it. You could say
Just
I'm
satisfied.
you could say I'm less than satisfied, right? You can add that the opposite. but you can't be more than satisfied. But you could say, I'd be very appreciative. So that's a word that does not express 100%. So you can modify it. I'd be very appreciative if you could do it. I'd be very grateful. Those work, but not very satisfied. Second point, you said I'd be more ready. Not more ready, more qualified. Because again,
I'd be more qualified.
ready, you either are ready or you aren't ready. Okay, so both of those are really the same mistake in different forms. You can't modify words that already express the maximum of something. Okay? Okay, very good job.
Okay, thank you.
Very good job. Anna, I understand that you have an unusual request at the school. We don't get these requests very often. I don't think I can help you, but go ahead. Tell me what you'd like.
Well, it's first of all, I have to say that it's been a long-term goal of mine to get a master's in piano performance. I intend to improve my piano technique skills in order to be a better teacher, and I think my students will benefit from it.
Well, just by teaching, you're improving your skills every day. Isn't that enough?
Of course not. It sounds like you know nothing about teaching and piano performance. If I can't perform well and I can't work on my technique skills properly, then I have nothing to show to my students, and it'll be a win-win situation if I'll get this master's degree.
How will it be a win-win situation for us? I'd like to hear that, because I don't see it. I would love to get a master's degree myself, but I've got to run the school. You know, that's life. So how will this be a win-win?
Well, I think I'll take your place since you wouldn't have it. Since
okay.
It's apparently you don't have this master's degree, and you really should have one. And then
I don't need it. I don't need it. I'm that good. I don't need it.
Well, and I need it, and wow. Oh, Kit is meowing. Cute. Well, then I'll just get my degree and I'll go to a better school where there's the teachers and more professional there, and they will appreciate my striving for better piano skills.
Oh, so you're saying you're going to leave if we don't give you the break?
That's right. You got that right.
Wow.
So it's a bit of, I'm like blackmailing you.
Okay, very good.
So, sorry, it's not blackmail. It's another word. I forget. Sorry.
I don't know, but that's what you're doing. Okay, that works. You can play hardball if you like. That's okay. I want you to take a look at a comment about language. You said my students will appreciate it if I have a master's or if I've improved my skills. You have to be careful between will and would, though. If you're talking about the future, it's will. But if you're just talking about a general result, hypothetically, it's would. Okay?
Yeah,
so
thanks.
So in the case in this case you were just talking about, I think you want to say would, because you're saying I would have benefit A, B, and C if I went to get my master's. So it's all hypothetical. When you get your master's, or when you know you're going to do it, then you can talk about wills because it's real.
Yeah, we don't know for sure if I'll actually get it.
That's right, exactly. Okay, very good, very good. So I hope that what I would suggest you do is take this presentation, put those key phrases into your notes, right? And run through the scenario once or twice, or write it up as a dialogue if you like. Get those key phrases into your head for the next time you're going to ask for promotion. Next week, ask for a promotion and come to class and tell us how it went. That's your homework. Okay?
Thanks, John Eric. I'll
Yes,
do
okay.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least I'll imagine that I'm doing it.
That's a good start. If you imagine it, it may come true. Okay, we're going to stop here. I'll be back for 2 hours tomorrow from 12 to 2 for Fun with Phrasals, our phrasal verb class, and Grammar Garage. And I believe we're going to be picking up a grammar point from Tuesday's speaking skills class. So if you want to take a look at that presentation, I'm going to be taking that and going into more depth as well with it. Okay, I'll put a description up for you. Bye for now. Have a great day, everyone. See you soon.
You too. Bye.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. See you. Bye-bye.